Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. Hi, how are you? Hope you're doing good today. We've got a very special guest on the line. He is a funk and jazz legend. He's returning to the islands a pair of dates this weekend. Friday on the Big Island, Saturday on Maui. He is known as one of the most important horn players of all time, probably one of the best-known sax players. He was a crucial part of the JBs, backing James Brown, as well as a member of George Clinton's entourage, performing and recording with Parliament and Funkadelic. He's also memorably collaborated with De La Soul, Jane's Addiction, Dave Matthews Band, Prince, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Keith Richards, Living Colour. We'd be here all day if we were running down all the stars that have wanted his talents. He's also, of course, known for working with his partner in crime for many years in projects, Fred Wesley. It's a huge personal thrill and honor to welcome the great Maceo Parker. Aloha and mahalo, brother Maceo.
Hi, man. You make it sound like I'm a little bit important.
My man, to me, you've been more than a little important. I used to live in Boston. I used to run around and see you live so many times, brother. So I just can't tell you what a huge personal thrill it is to finally.
Well, thank you very much. I'm still excited about doing what I do, man, and it's just really really nice, almost like a dream, lifetime dream. Like it's always easy to reflect back on your beginning, like right out of high school or beginning college and trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life. And I just came to conclusion that I'd like to do exactly what I'm doing today, and so everything is really exciting for me still, from day one right on to now.
You always show it too on stage, and since you're here in the islands, and that's really why we're talking. How far back do you go with Hawaii, Maceo?
You know what? I think, in fact, I'm sure the first time I came, it had to be with James Brown. And when you say first, it's just a special kind of a thing, because then everything else after that is sort of like documented. But first, you just it's a pride in it, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to travel and perform and play and travel, because it's so easy to read about these places and hear about these places and see things on TV and all of that. Then when you get a chance to visit them and perform and be there live, it's like okay, another step toward getting it done and getting it complete, and having a complete vision, a complete life, or living, or this kind of thing. So it's a lot of pride in doing what I do, and like I said, the very first time I ever came to Hawaii was with James Brown, and that'll always be etched in my mind.
What can you remember of that experience of being here with him?
Just being excited. It seemed like the weather was a whole lot better then for some reason. When you say, what do I remember? Because it seemed like the people were walking around with almost like the beach thing, and with the scantily clad kind of thing and all that, and all the leis and little things around your neck and all that, and just again being excited. It seemed like the more people too around. Maybe we're in the main island or something, but it seemed like a lot of cars, a lot of buildings, and a lot of people.
Yeah.
And here it seems like to be kind of laid back, and it seems like I like this better.
Yeah, you're in a wonderful spot over there on the Big Island. Talk a little bit about the show that you're doing today for folks. Describe, if you can, because you've been going a long way as a solo artist. You incorporate music from some of the different eras of your career. Describe sort of the show these days.
Well, I've seen a lot of shows, and I come up with my own concept, and each group or each person, each entertainer has his or her own concept of how they think it should be, and so do I. But I like to have a few surprises. I don't like it when maybe the artist can kind of sit there and kind of figure out what you're going to do next, and exactly how you're going to do it. So I got a few surprises, and I also, part of my concept is I want that audience to feel that we've actually prepared for them. You know what? See, in other words, you can get 6, 7 guys together who are musicians, never played together before, and say, "Hey man, did you know knock on wood? Oh yeah, I know that. What key you gonna do it? Oh, we do it in G. Oh, okay, fine, boom." And then you play knock on wood, and then you go from that tune to the next tune, and from that to the next tune, and pretty soon you say good night. See, a person sitting in the audience can tell that's kind of what's going on. So I sort of polished the ends a little bit so people could, with subconsciously, you don't really verbally say, but you appreciate that this is a group that's been together a long time. That's why I say, I got little tricks in there that, that shows that you gotta be, have put some thought into it. And like that. Plus, I've been, like you said, with a lot of people, especially James Brown. So I got a lot of my influence from him since I spent so much time with him. I don't be quite as dynamic, as he did, but I do a few little things because his music is my music and all that. But I really do enjoy performing, and I really enjoy playing the saxophone. So when you put all that enjoyment together, plus the fact that I really do love people, I'm one of those people person where I really can't stand to watch bad news and all that because I get really, really sensitive, which is just a given for me, I guess. But anyway, so I love people. So I love performing. I love making people feel good and feel good about themselves and forgetting about the natural everyday problems that we all have. Got to get new tires for the car. Grandpapa getting old, and
sure,
somebody maybe fail a test or whatever. But little things that can kind of get you down. People can kind of turn their backs on that stuff just for a second and come to where we are, and we play that kind of music where now it's time to get your party on, time to get your groove on, time to get your dance on. And that's what we provide. And with our music, it's just a party, just a good time, and it's time for celebrations. So with that, coupled with love, that's pretty much what we do.
Shake everything you got, I believe is the message, my brother. I got it on the back of my shirt.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I got a couple Maceo shirts during the times I've gotten to see you in concert. You mentioned something that I was planning on asking you about, the relationship to Mr. Brown. And when I would see you live, I'd always think, man, he moves like James. He has obviously picked up a lot of his stage persona from James. Would you agree?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's automatic, man. You've been there like a step and a half from him for so many years. You can't help but pick up something. And then I got to a point where I knew somewhere, sometimes I was going to be at the helm. I was going to be the captain of my own ship. And then I started asking myself, why does he repeat tunes? How does he know when to bring the audience down, do a slow tune, do a ballad, then bring them back up, this kind of thing. And I just studied all this stuff from years and years and years and years. And I got sort of the feel of how he did it, and which I sort of adopted into my concept. Another thing that I failed to mention earlier when I was talking is that a lot of times the decorum, like the dress thing, I didn't go as far as like uniforms and tuxedos, this kind of thing, but we do wear the suits or maybe the shirts and ties, or horn players wear the suits. I just think the audience subconsciously feel okay, they prepared for us. It's not like people just came from the basketball court and we're playing basketball and say, oh yeah, we got a gig and in 15 minutes. Oh, okay. And you run down and get your instrument and run on the stage. You see, yep. But at the same time, I'm saying if somebody else feel like that's the way they want to do it, that's fine. I love it for somebody else. Right. But for me, I really do, want that audience to feel that, golly, they really prepared for us. We decided to come see this particular group, and we are rewarded because they really, really prepared for us. And you'll be able to see, little tricks and oops and ahs and little things that we do that I'm sure the audience will appreciate.
And I guess by way of what you're saying, that's some of what you would credit for the many lessons, the volume, the encyclopedia of lessons, I guess, that you picked up from James. What are some of the other lessons about? You mentioned it about the organization of the band, the organization of the set. What are some of the other key ingredients that you find yourself using every day that you can draw a direct link back to having learned from your your time with Mr. Brown?
Something funky, as long as it's funky. You know what I mean? I mean, just to make a long story short, I'm really known, because sometimes I actually say, you know what, a lot of people that come in, have just come in, may think we're going to do jazz just because when you see a lot of, instruments and somebody playing them live, first thing you think about is jazz. And I even say this and, during my show, during my opening. And then I may even say, okay, now, let me tell you the difference in jazz and what we do. And then I say, now we're going to play something that we do not play. And it's a sort of little jazz, a little up-tempo jazz thing that I do, Set and Doll, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And then we go right into to the funky thing. And then, again, the funky side is almost like the New Orleans thing. Just those guys that play outside. Once you see those guys and their little beat and stuff, they say, you're in a parade. You got your dance on, and you're in a parade. You're just doing exactly what they do. This is how we sort of carry our thing. Once we get it cranking and get it going, before you know it, even if you're in an auditorium where you're sitting, before you know it, somebody's standing.
Yep.
And then it's like a domino effect. Next thing you know, just the whole thing is it's a party. And then for some odd reason, if we don't have the whole thing, then we can kind of go back to the get up, get on up, get up, get on up, because that's still part of the James Brown. And I can just throw internet James Brown stuff in anytime I feel like it, feel like I want to. And then I might even slow it down with a ballad or two just to sort of break the monotony a little bit of everything funky.
Right.
Then you got to boom, which, like I said, I could sort of learn that from Mr. Brown.
Right.
Then I discovered, as a added kind of a thing, I discovered I could sing a little bit, especially when I'm hoarse like I am now, a little bit like Ray Charles. So I throw either Georgia or You Don't Know Me in there. And people kind of like that, and it's part of the surprise thing now that I was saying. It's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Then I got I might do like a little flute thing, which is if you have somebody in that audience who remembers, gonna have a funky good time, with a flute solo at the end.
Right.
So I kind of they kind of throw that in there. Say, yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, Hey, Maceo, man, what can I say?
That's the great thing is, and as Maceo talked, I'm remembering at least one particular show where I remember you were at this Scullers Jazz Club in Boston, and you with Fred, and there was this woman in the crowd, and you just pulled her out of the crowd, and she sang this incredible Marvin Gaye, like maybe a medley or just one tune or something. It might have been Let's Get It On, but yeah, you seize on opportunities throughout the set. That brings me to the other pillar of music that you've been a part of. And that is George Clinton. How did the George Clinton opportunity arise?
Well, again, I was lucky. I was lucky in that the slot that I filled when, I got hired by James Brown, because of me and my brother. But anyway, when I got to a point where he was calling me on my name to introduce the sax solos, then that became like monumental, man. That was like a brand, like the a brand you put on the cattle or something like that. That funky music or funky James Brown music. And then, okay, here's Maceo, come on, brother, whatever you're gonna say, and then boom, then I'm playing. So I learned as the years went on and on and on that all over the world somebody's imitating James Brown. Maybe not so much now like as one time, but all over the world, I could do the James Brown dance. And then once they, somebody in somebody's family can dance like James Brown, or they think they can anyway. And once they do that, the same somebody, then he has to have a Maceo. Maybe Fred too, but at least a Maceo. and that's really what sort of launched my career and my stamina. People, and all groups or some groups or most groups are getting in that studio and they're trying some new stuff. And then every now and then, you know what? Man, that sounds kind of like that. That's funky. that sounds kind of like that James Brown stuff.
That sounds like Maceo.
What's the name? Yeah, wonder if we can get Maceo to come in, do a couple of little hits and licks or whatever on this particular groove. So that used to happen a long, long time ago, a lot. And so that's, when people, say, golly, wonder, and that's how I can, kind of, I can be here and I can be there. I can be there and here and there. I met Michael Jackson in Vegas when I was there with Prince, and right at the end of the show. In fact, it was during the basketball, what do you call it, Hall of Fame game? No, what is it?
Finals championships?
No. What is the other thing called?
The a Pro Ball.
Where they have the dunk contest and all that stuff. What is it called?
Kind of like the Pro Bowl for football. Like we're all the All-Star game.
All-Star. That's it. That's it. And everybody was saying Michael. And I'm thinking, every time I hear Michael, I'm thinking Michael Jordan. Since it's basketball, right? But people were saying Michael, and they was talking about Michael Jackson.
Big MJ.
I had met Chris Tucker somewhere earlier, maybe in New York, somewhere. And he and Michael Jackson were together. And they about to leave, and somehow Chris happened to turn around and he saw me, and I could see from a distance when he mouthed the word, "Ooh, there's Maceo." And then when he did, Michael Jackson turned around, came back to me to say hi. First time I ever met him. First and only time I ever met him. And then we talked for a little while, and then he left. And then the rest of the band at that time, who was working with Prince, just kind of hover around me and start giving me kudos. I don't believe it, man. Michael Jackson came back. But I said that to say this: everyone that was really, really, really into James Brown also somehow got really, really, really into me. From all those years and all those "Come On Maceo, Blow Your Horn" things and all those different solos on all those tracks and all of that. And like I said, it sort of launched me to where I am, and to be able to do, to continue to do what I'm doing, what I always wanted to do all my life, or the young part of my life anyway. So it's all good for me.
Man, but what's crazy about those two? They're almost, those two dudes, James Brown and George Clinton, are without a question the most important dudes in funk, and you worked for both. And what's weird, though, Maceo, is like James Brown, known as the tightest band, George the loosest. How did that feel, going from such a tight structure to the loose? It
was weird. It was, really, really weird. The funk was there. But I but the concept was a little bit different.
Yes, it was.
in the things that they say, and things that they wore. Here we're coming from, tuxedo, different colors, and but uniformity. Everybody sort of dressed, whatever, got some kind of plan. Got to the point where if they wore like black tuxedos, then I could wear gray. James wanted me something different, or I wear a different top or something, but it was still tuxedo. I get with George, and his concept is it ain't nothing but a party. Life ain't nothing but a party. You don't need to be, conformed. You don't need to be uniformed. Come on. This person may not be feeling blue today. Me may be feeling gray, or this guy, and so on and so on. So that's his thing. I've seen him say, some guys, you know what, George, I'm really into baseball, and I think, you think it would be okay if I wore like a baseball uniform? Man, yeah, cool, right, fine, whatever. Another guy said, I'm in country and western, or I'm in the shoot 'em ups, and I like the cowboy Indian thing, and I think about like a headdress, or I want to be cussed, or hey man, whatever you want to be. Another guy, you know what? I'm not, my feet are not feeling it right now for shoes. What about if I just didn't wear any shoes at all? Man, I'm telling you, that's fine. Just no shoes, however what color some guys into swimming, another guy into railroading. You want to be a train engineer, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel is cool with me. Life ain't nothing but a party. Ain't got time for all this headache about, you got to have everybody got on blue, everybody got on the same color. No. Life is not like that. And that was his concept. And it took me a minute to really, really get into, what he was about. And then he say, there's anything almost like the football locker room or something. With some of the lyrics, but he didn't care. He said, this is the way life is. Kids have to learn about life, like about what they're going to hear outside their homes. And, might as well teach them through song, because if they hear it through song, and then they hear it out in the thing, it's not such a big shock to them, because that, this is what life is about. And, again, that's part of his concept. And it took me a long minute to really get through it. But then I end up on the summation, or the other end of getting on it, is that there's only one George Clinton, and he sort of preserved himself, with his concept, and I love it. All the people I've worked with and all that, I just love them all, because I started just saying I love all the concepts anyway. I'll choose my own, but that happened to be his. I love it for him.
You know what? I got to tell you this story, because one time I was, because you said about the costumes and how if somebody in the band wanted to be a baseball player or whatever. So one time I was hanging with them, and Gary Scheider, Gary.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the late Gary Scheider.
Right.
And Gary, I had a Kiss t-shirt on, and Kiss were dressed as the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers. Right. It was like a special, the guys in the makeup wearing Dodgers costumes.
Right.
And Gary Scheider sees that shirt backstage, and he says, I got to have that shirt. I'll give you my P-Funk shirt. I'll give you my P-Funk dog tags. I got to have that shirt.
Yeah.
So, I know what you mean about that diversity. I've seen it up close, and just, it's a great explanation the way you described your time with him.
Yeah, like I said, it took a minute, with the profanity and stuff and all of that. It took it was what? I can't believe this. But I came in first as like just a background horn player, and then I was elevated a couple of years later to like MD, like musical director, and that gave me some clout, gave me some power to change stuff and do, and that's what I did. I try to make it, not so much of a three-ring circus kind of thing when I was there as a musical director. I want to try to give it a little bit of clarity, because sometimes you have like 15, 16, 17, 18 people on the stage doing all kinds of stuff. People don't know who to watch, and all that. So I try to define it, try to make it a little bit more sense. And like I said, George gave me that, whatever. It gave me I was able to do that.
Freedom.
Because, that's what he wanted. He said, okay, make sure we use some of your influence. Whatever you think, man, is cool. And, so it was passed down. Maceo's like next to me. So whatever he says goes. That's the way he says he want to do it. Cool. And another thing that came to mind about George, George get kind of excited sometimes, and he'd go past the time that we're supposed to be finished. And a lot of times back then, when you go past the thing, if you're in a union place where, the light guy and the microphone guys, the sound technician guys, or the building itself, they got to go like extra money, blah blah blah. Sometimes it could be $10,000-$15,000 extra for like 5 minutes over kind of thing. So they would come tell me and say, okay, now you gotta be stopped by a certain time. Got to be finished by a certain time. I said, okay. Then I get to him. I said, now, George, listen. You gotta be finished by a certain time, blah, blah. Now, if you don't, then blah, 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 blah. Now, I paint the thing you're doing. Now, I leave it in his court. Leave the ball in his court. You do like you want to do, but at least you know what you're doing. And sometimes I point to to my watch, or something like that. Let her know what time. Did he feel like he want to go past? Fine. That's all right. But if he says, okay, don't let me go, if I get excited, don't let me go past the thing. So that's what I would do. I give a signal. They be doing, Atomic Dog or something. They really used to get excited doing Atomic Dog, and pulling people off the from the audience and dancing with them all kinds of ways and stuff. And I'm checking out my time.
Keeping an eye on the clock.
We got 2 more minutes. I would give the bass player a little signal I had, and the drummer, bass player, drummer, they go right out of George still out there doing the fast line or whatever they're doing, and then boom, and next thing you know, flip, right out there tune. And you look up, you'll be excited about, how did we get out of that tune? Because I did it. Yeah, you man. Oh, okay, it's time to go. But I used to enjoy doing that, man. It was great.
Man, I just got to tell you, I could talk to you all day. I got to give you a huge hug. I got to give you a big high five. I meant it when I said it, dude. It's a huge personal thrill. I've seen you many, 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 many times. I got a lot of records of yours and a lot of bootlegs.
Right.
And you mean a lot to a lot of people. I know you hear it all the time, but just from me to you, on behalf of so many people, we really, really appreciate all you've done all these years, Maceo. You're the man.
It's a pleasure, man. Like I said, it's like a dream come true. Another one of the added things in my corner is all that time that I was speaking of George Clinton, his bass player of that time is now working with me. He's been with me now, I don't know how long, how many years. But you're talking about one of the funkiest bass players in the world, man. I'm really, really proud to have all those people that I really do have in my group, and I hope you can, get a chance to come by and kind of check us out. But just to have Skeet, Rodney Skeet Curtis, with me is like, goodness gracious, and it's like, because he never fails to amaze. Like every night is something different. It's really, really, really funky. And on that note, I got a few more surprises, in that group too that you may want to check out.
Dude, if you were coming, I'm in Honolulu. If you were coming here, I'd be all over it.
Right.
But I'll work with your people next time you're coming through. We'd love to bring you here. And I mean it. I care about you so much. You always made me feel so good in concert. And I hope you've enjoyed talking today. It meant a lot to me.
All right. I really enjoyed it, man. And thank you very, very much for having me. And, we look forward to the time that we can come in, spend some more time together.
I love you, brother. I'm giving you a big hug again. I just, I'll stay in touch with your people. It really means a lot. I can't thank you enough for this, Maceo. It was so much fun, dude.
And remember Dave Lawrence. We love you.
I give you big hugs. I hope you had a good time, brother.
Okay, partner.
You be safe, bro.
Thanks, man.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks for everything, okay?
Aloha.
All right. Aloha. Bye-bye.